totally different energy on these streets. Like,
I mean, what rubbish is he talking about?
everyone is armed here.
This guy taking you on a tour of Idlib. Why didn't you reach out to me? I would have taken you on a much better tour with a better English as well.
A lot of people have guns. They all have big beards and no mustache, like the ISIS look. I just popped into a gun.
You see that? Like the ISIS look. Assalamu alaikum, this is your brother Dr. Sajul Islam here in Idlib, Syria. Now, alhamdulillah, after the freeing of Syria, Syria has become open to everyone. And subhanAllah, you'll be surprised. Now I'm walking around in Idlib and I just randomly bump into someone that's just come to visit. The other day, for example, I was walking in my block where I live up the stairs and someone from Canada just stopped me in my own block and said, "Oh, you're that doctor." So there is a lot of people coming to Idlib now, an area people could not even think about coming to just a few months ago. So today we'll be reacting to some of these videos some of these vloggers are putting out about Idlib, because I came across some of these videos and there's a lot of stuff that I really need to give you an insight on. A lot of stuff that's actually not as it is really. For someone that's been in Idlib since 2012 when I first entered, and someone that's been living here for so long, I'll give you a real insight into what Idlib is really like. So one of the guys that's come here recently is a famous traveler. His name is Debunking. I'm sure you've seen his videos as he travels the whole world. And so he was in Idlib not long ago. So let's see what he has to say about Idlib.
We are now approaching Idlib, and believe me when I say, this is one of the most intense places in the world.
There's tanks. After 5 long hours of driving, we are here. Welcome to Idlib. And this is so significant because I remember on my last trip to Syria, they were like, you cannot go near Idlib. It's a no-go zone. So let's go to Idlib. Let's check it out. There are checkpoints like all around us, but Ayub says that we're safe. I still feel a little bit kind of sketchy to be here. As Ayub just told me, this is the most conservative area of Syria.
You saw the sign on the right. It says terms and conditions for clothing and how you should look like.
Am I dressed okay?
Yeah, but for females.
Yeah, for sure.
Avoid mentioning Americans. Let's say
Canadian?
Canadian.
Okay.
So one thing that I have to spot out straight away, who is he traveling with? He's come to Idlib and he's brought some random guy with him, Ayub. And most likely Ayub's never been to Idlib, and he's most probably a guy that was always on the wrong side of this conflict. So you want to come to Idlib, you got to connect with the people that have been with the revolution, because you got to understand, what is Idlib? Idlib is the place in which all the people gathered to lead the operations to free the whole of Syria. Idlib is the heart of the revolution, the capital of the revolution. Now you're coming to Idlib with a guy that most probably didn't even like us, doesn't know anything about us, and most probably never been to Idlib himself. You can see the guy is scared. So this is totally portraying a wrong image of Idlib. Because you want to come to Idlib, come with us. And a little back, if you go back, he refers to this sign. This sign is a sign on a checkpoint, just telling you slow down, you know, when you approach for inspection, lower your windows, don't wear a mask. This is not code and terms and condition of how you should dress when you enter Idlib. This is not what it is. It's just as you enter Idlib, there are checkpoints. Just listen to the rules and obey the commands of a checkpoint. And the way the whole thing's being hyped, if you pay attention, is just trying to scare the viewer. And especially this guy's got a huge following, so a lot of people don't really know anything about Idlib. So this, and the first few seconds I'm watching of it, it's really sending a wrong message about Idlib.
Avoid mentioning Americans. Let's say
Canadian?
Canadian.
Okay.
I mean, what's the difference between American and Canadian? We have so many American brothers here. It's really not a big issue. And actually, all the time deployments from America are coming to Idlib. For the last, 10, 15 years, American delegations have regularly come to Idlib. We've had so many American doctors and aid workers regularly traveling here. I've brought in Americans here in Idlib for years and years. So you see this scaremongering, don't mention Americans, say you're Canadian. It's all just trying to make it like something which is not.
Yeah. Careful when you cross the street in Syria. These guys drive like crazy. Oh my God, it's almost as bad as Iran. What does it say behind you?
It says Syria for all Syrians, and the date of the fall of Assad regime, and even the timing.
And this white flag,
HTS flag.
which is
What? You hear that? The white flag is a HTS flag? It's just the Shahada flag you see everywhere. It's the same flag you see when raised in Afghanistan. It's the same flag, that the Saudi flag is green, but it's the same writing, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. It's just a flag of the Shahada. It's got nothing to do with HTS.
it's the new government, basically.
Yes.
And it looks like the Taliban flag. What does it say on the flag?
There is no God instead of Allah, and Prophet Muhammad is the Prophet.
The adrenaline rush that I get from being in a place that I know has been like forbidden for anyone to visit, Syrians and tourists. It really gets me going. Time to explore.
I mean, that's just not true what it's saying. Like I said to you, Idlib, we've had regular visits from Americans, from Australians, from Brits. Idlib's been open to the world. Idlib's been way more friendly and welcoming and open to the world than the previous Bashar al-Assad regime areas. So you can see the bias in these two guys traveling to Idlib. It seems like they are more inclined to what was before with the Assad regime. Look at the way they're talking about it. And there's so many people that have vouched. They have come in and out with charity convoys, that have come in without any issues, and regularly Syrian living abroad have come to Idlib to visit family during Eid when Turkey was opening the borders regularly. So it's just not true what they're saying.
Or Idlib.
As I mentioned, Idlib is controlled by HTS, a former Al-Qaeda affiliate that now rules Syria with an iron fist.
Iron fist. Why are you trying to use phrases like this? If you look at the way the new government is running the place, that's far from the truth. They're not ruling it with an iron fist. What kind of connotations are you putting by saying that? It's just not true.
Cells from jihad or engaging in violent extremism, but their strict interpretation of Islamic law tells an interesting story.
Bro, what is going on? This is chaotic as hell. This is absolutely insane. Like, everyone's just running around. That kid looks like he's 10 years old, driving a motorcycle. Is it always chaotic here? Do you think that...
I mean, why are you making it out like Idlib's chaotic? You're in the middle of the city center. Any place you go in the middle of the city center, it's going to be busy. It's going to be a rush. It's going to be chaotic. This is normal. But trust me, Idlib, if you look at it compared to the other areas of Syria, is most probably the most advanced and the most organized and the most structured. You just have to come and visit for yourself and you'll make that conclusion. So this is just not true, the way they're going on. They're making it out like Idlib is backwards compared to the other areas that were previously under the Bashar al-Assad regime. It's just not true.
Most people in Syria are scared to come here now?
Yes, they think Idlib could be dangerous. It's so conservative, different than Damascus.
It almost feels like a different country.
Yeah, and there's like foreign fighters everywhere.
This is one thing this guy, he said they think Idlib could be dangerous because it's conservative. Why are you making that connection? Why are you acting like if people are more religious in Idlib, it's going to be dangerous? Actually, the opposite is true. Let me tell you something about Idlib. Idlib by far is one of the safest areas in the world. And wallah, and I tell you that as someone that's traveled, that's lived in many areas, here my wife travels without any fear. Even 1, 2 o'clock at night, I would have no worry if my wife was walking on the road, my children were walking on the road. We don't have crime here. Near enough zero crime here. It's safe, it's friendly, it's welcoming. It's not like as these guys are making it out. So it does beg to question, who is this guy that's traveling with him? Is this someone that was very close to the Assad regime previously maybe? Maybe some of you guys can help me track this guy down. Who is this guy? Why is he talking like this about Idlib? Why is he so biased? What is his background?
It almost feels like a different country.
Yeah, and there's like foreign fighters everywhere.
Are you nervous?
Kind of, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not afraid, but I need to be careful.
Are you worried that people are going to ask us questions like what are you doing here?
I'm worried because, like, for example, being in a fight here is not like in Damascus.
But who's going to fight you?
Like, if we hit someone with the car, for example,
okay.
everyone have guns.
Totally different energy on these streets. Like,
I mean, what rubbish is he talking about? I mean, why are you so scared? Why are you so terrified? Okay, if you have a car accident, it's not a big deal. It happens all the time. Sure, the police will come. We have a police force and they'll help you. And they'll take witness statements. They'll take pictures. It's civilized here. It really is not how he's making it out. And yes, there is a lot of foreign fighters here. So what? The foreigners have been well integrated into the locals. Don't mix things up here. The foreign fighters that went on to ISIS and so forth are not the same as the foreign fighters that are here in Idlib. A lot of the foreign fighters have integrated well here. They're married to local families. They talk the local language. They behave like locals. There's nothing to fear. Foreigners are welcome here. There's no issues. You want to come for a visit? Come for a visit. No one's getting kidnapped. No one's being held for ransom. This kind of stuff is just not happening here. When was the last time you heard of someone come to Idlib and got kidnapped or held for ransom or something bad happened to them? It just doesn't happen. It's just not happening. So be careful, guys, when you listen to people like this.
Someone with the car, for example, everyone have guns.
Totally different energy on these streets. Like, everyone's intimidating. A lot of people have guns. They all have big beards and no mustache, like the ISIS look. I just popped into a gun.
You see that? like the ISIS look. He said it there. So they're trying to portray this image that if someone is conservative and they have a beard and they shorten their mustache, they become like the ISIS look. No, this is the Islamic look. This is the look of the Sunnah, and it's not intimidating. Did anyone intimidate you? Did anyone come up to you and was hostile towards you? No, you're clearly a foreigner. You're clearly speaking English. Did anyone harass you? No, it's just not true. Yes, everyone has weapons, everyone has guns, because most of these guys are mujahideen. And don't forget, it's this mujahideen from Idlib that freed Syria. And now Syria is freed, and alhamdulillah, by the permission of Allah, and it has been freed for the last, 5 months. Has anyone been oppressed? Has anyone, like what happened when ISIS took over areas, did we see any of that happening? No. But the new government has taken a much gentle approach with everyone, with Christians, with Druze, with Alawites, with minorities, with everyone. It's been a very gentle approach. So don't get it twisted. Don't think of the people of Idlib as you portrayed ISIS just because we share one thing common, which is Islam. It doesn't mean that just because we want conservative Islam that we are now ISIS. We're not. So this is just not true.
Like the ISIS look. I just popped into a gun shop because there's so many here, and I was curious, and I asked the price of a Glock, and it...
Hold on. This gun he's got in his hand. Yeah, there is true. There's a lot of gun shops here. So it was a war zone. It's normal, and it's okay for everyone to carry a sidearm for protection. There was a war zone. But what you're holding in your hand, my friend, is not a Glock. It's a plastic Turkish replica. It's not a Glock. So listen to what he has to say about the gun prices.
I just popped into a gun shop because there's so many here, and I was curious, and I asked the price of a Glock, and it was $180 US.
He said a price of a Glock, $180 US. Firstly, that's not a Glock, and if it was a real Glock, it doesn't cost $180. Add another zero to it, you might find one. You might find one for about $2,000, but it's actually a lot more. So you see the image they're trying to portray of Idlib? It's like weapons are just being chucked around. If that was the case, really, we'd have chaos and deaths every day, and like the chaos they're trying to portray is like some of those Mexican cartels where they're killing and whatnot daily. It just doesn't happen in Idlib. It's a very civilized society. Alhamdulillah. You rarely hear about gunfights taking place between people. Rarely. It just doesn't happen. Everyone is armed. Yes, it's normal. Alhamdulillah. But the permission of Allah, we don't need to use the weapons except for on the front lines, when we had front lines. So there is peace and tranquility when you're living amongst the people in Idlib, alhamdulillah.
They're just like throwing the weapons around like no one's business. And he was like, do you want it? It might be the cheapest guns in the world. Only in Idlib, Syria can you do that. Do you think everybody here has guns on them?
I think so. And they have like the military dress.
So we're coming up to the main square here. It's actually beautiful, little palm trees, there's a little clock.
And guess what? My SIM card don't work here.
Really?
So we don't have internet.
Why doesn't it work?
Because they use Turkish networks here.
Everything is Turkish?
Yeah.
Hold on. So you're saying his SIM card doesn't work here? Yeah, you've got a SIM card that is from the Bashar al-Assad regime. We weren't living under his system, and we just freed Syria. So we were still expanding the network system. Now, when I'm recording this video, yeah, the Syria Tel and MTN signals, which were previously located in Damascus, work in Idlib. Give us some time, man. It's got nothing to do with, oh, everything is Turkish here. It's just, we went under the Bashar al-Assad regime. His SIM cards won't work here. His system won't work here. Where you been? For the last 14 years, we've been disconnected from the Bashar al-Assad regime. It's been two separate countries, really. So come on, man.
Well, do they use Turkish lira?
Yes.
Why do they use Turkish lira?
Because they are close and supported by Turkey. And so many of the products they have here made in Turkey.
So they just use Turkish lira?
Yeah.
So he's made a good point here. Yes, it's true. We were not under the sanctions that the Bashar al-Assad regime was under. It was under strict sanctions since the genocide in Syria started. So that means that the Syrian currency was dropping value rapidly. So for example, I remember in 2012 when I first came, $1 would give me 50 Syrian pounds. It got to a point where $1 would give you 3,500. So when it was about 3,500 to $1, we stopped using the Syrian currency here in Idlib. And we turned over to the Turkish currency. Why? Because the Syrian currency was too unstable and everyone's was losing value. And then it got so bad that $1 was 15,000 Syrian pounds. So imagine that. Imagine how much value the Syrian pound lost. It went from the beginning of the revolution where there were around 50 Syrian pounds to $1 to 15,000. So this is the reason why we in Idlib stopped stopped using the Syrian pound because the currency was not stable and the value of it was going down fast. Alhamdulillah, because we weren't under the embargo and under the sanctions, the border between us and the world was open. So this is why products were flowing into Idlib from Turkey. It was coming through Turkey. It doesn't mean everything's Turkish. No, everything from around the world was coming to Idlib. We had products from America coming, we had products from North Korea, South Korea, from China, everywhere. So this is the real reason. Not because we're like some Turkish proxy, as this guy is trying to make it out. No, because we were not under sanctions.
I think I'm the only tourist here right now.
Of course. But not the only foreigner, because there's so much fighters here.
That's just not true. He thinks he's the only tourist in Idlib. It's not true. Just type in Idlib on YouTube and see how many tourists are coming to Idlib and recording. After the freeing of Syria, so many people are coming. I've seen guys that have come from East London, from South London, and they're vlogging in Idlib. So there's a lot of people coming now. And you're going to be the next guy coming, inshallah, right? And let's be clear here. Why were people not coming to Idlib before? Why were they too scared? Because it was an area that was being bombed relentlessly by the Bashar al-Assad regime. And it was out of the fear of the bombing people were not coming. Not because the people in Idlib are Islamic and conservative, as is being portrayed here. It's just not true.
So many.
Foreign fighters.
Yeah.
But who brought them here? Who sponsored them?
They went since the revolution started, 2011.
Did you ever think you would visit Idlib in your life?
Never. Because
you heard that. He said it there. Never. He never thought he'd visit Idlib. So it's most likely his first ever trip to Idlib. So how is a guy going to take you on a tour of Idlib when he's had that fear of Idlib all his life, where he's been fed that propaganda by Bashar al-Assad, making him scared of Idlib? What makes you so comfortable with this guy taking you on a tour of Idlib? Why didn't you reach out to me? I would have taken you on a much better tour with a better English as well.
I didn't expect that Assad will fall.
Right. So even for you right now, you're like looking around everywhere,
Yeah.
you're like trying to understand what's going on.
Yes. And the products they have here, it looks different than the one in Damascus.
We are pretty close to the Turkish border. It's
Yeah.
like 2 hours by car maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any pictures of Assad here.
Yeah.
But even during his regime, there was no pictures of him?
Of course, no. During the regime time,
There was.
it was, but since 2011, they removed all of the photos of Assad.
So they were against him here?
Yes, since the beginning.
It was the opposition?
Yeah.
Every store is like a military store. Yeah, I would say this is not the most touristy friendly place I've ever been. It's very, very intense here. Bro, everybody's in military.
Because everyone joined HTS.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they don't have any job opportunities in here.
What? Did you see what he just said? He said everyone joined HTS because they don't have any job opportunities here. Trying to imply that there was job opportunities under the Bashar al-Assad regime. Like, who are you a propaganda for? You're still a propaganda for the Bashar al-Assad regime. It's just not true that everyone joined HTS. No. You see that some of the bigger factions of fighters that took part in freeing Syria, they were not from HTS. There was a coalition. Yes, HTS led the battle, but they were not, everyone was with HTS. So, alhamdulillah, now there is a unification and we have a government and there's no longer any groups. There's actually a formal governmental structure with a formal military that's been globally recognized. Alhamdulillah. So guys, don't be fooled by a lot of this propaganda. Although this guy is trying to act like he's neutral and is coming to Idlib, know that this is a guy that was traveling with the Bashar al-Assad regime when those areas were still under the control of Bashar al-Assad. And it seems like he's using the same guide that was approved by Bashar al-Assad. That's why you're getting this vibe from him of Idlib, which just is not what it is really.
Look at this guy. Like, dude, what the hell? That's
What about him? So what? He's almost just come back from Ribat. He's got a gun and he's got his joba and so. Come on, man. And did he say anything to you? You're clearly speaking English and you're clearly a foreigner. Did he even look at you? Did he even notice you? He didn't. So you're getting scared, man.
It's a small city.
Look at this guy. Like, dude, what the hell? That's insane. They're just walking around with huge weapons. Everyone is armed here. Ayub has taken me to a famous sweets shop here because apparently they're known for their sweets in Idlib. It's really busy in here.
Yeah.
Everyone's pushing around.
You can
What are we
check here
getting?
how they made it. Take the coffee.
Thank you. Shukran. I love how you're just thrown in it. You're just here. You're like right in the middle of it, right in front of everything.
Welcome to Idlib.
Shukran. Time to give it a try. Whoa, really crunchy on the outside. Inside there's cheese, milk cream.
So this is a local Idlib dessert dish. It's called shaybiyat. It's basically cheese with a lot of sugar, a huge amount of sugar. So apparently this is what Idlib was known for. But let it be clear now, Idlib is known for being the heart of the revolution, the place of the shuhada, the place that stood firm and did not compromise until the whole of Syria was freed by the permission of Allah. That's what Idlib is known for. All of the thousands and thousands of shuhada and all of that struggle, not just shaybiyat.
Walnuts, pistachios. This is amazing. What a moment. What a moment here in Idlib. What's your name?
Muhammad.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from?
I'm from Martin Oman, near Idlib, yeah.
And there's a lot of military guys walking around with weapons.
No matter.
You heard what he said? He's trying to see if people are scared here of all the military guys here. He said, no matter. He's like, Adi, it's not a problem. It's all good. We don't mind. This is the locals. This is how the locals feel about all the mujahideen. Listen to what the locals have to say about the mujahideen.
No.
You feel comfortable?
Yeah, those people are Syrians as well. They are from us and they freed us from the regime.
How do you?
Alhamdulillah. Listen to what the guy has to say. They are Syrians also, so it's not just foreigners. And they're from us. What it means, even the foreigners are from us. This is how they refer to us now. Khalas, you're one of us now. You're one of us. We are really, because we're all going to get Syrian citizenship. So we're like Syrians now. It's not like foreigners anymore. And Alhamdulillah, by the permission of Allah, as foreigners are the ones that assisted and helped the locals in freeing them from almost 60 years of oppression and torture and hardship. And that's how the locals feel. And that's what the real image is. Not the scary image this guy is trying to paint of Idlib. It's just crazy.
How do you feel about the current situation in Syria with the new regime?
We hope the new regime will be well for the Syrians. The most important things as a Syrian, there will not be everything forever, as the Syrians knows about the old regime.
Amazing.
Yeah, won't be forever.
After everything I've seen in Idlib, it's hard to imagine things getting more intense. But now we're heading to Aleppo, once Syria's...
So that's it, guys. So this is just my impression of this video of this guy with a very big following. I think this guy's got like 5.5 million followers. What he's saying about Idlib, which you've seen today, is just not as he's making it out. Now guys, all of you can come to Idlib now, inshallah. There are flights to Damascus, there are flights to Aleppo, and you know what? Even the Turkish land border is now open. Alhamdulillah, after what, almost 14 years of it being closed without special permission, now it's open to everyone that has visa rights to enter Syria. So Syria is up and coming. So when you're planning your next holiday, make sure Syria is up on the list, inshallah.